really gonna have to know how to be our own kind of beautiful. We're gonna have to know how to be our own kind of beautiful. Stillness in abundance, love and light, health and wholeness. Stillness in abundance, love and light, health and wholeness. Stillness in abundance, love and light, health and wholeness. I hope everybody's feeling good for no reason at all. That goes for the Cosmic Consciousness family and soul tribe. As for me, your host and co-pilot, Side with God, I am feeling good for no reason at all. Upon getting ready to record, it seemed like it's been forever, but it's only been a minute. But upon preparing, even deciding whether I was going to record, let me close these. Upon deciding whether or not I was going to record, I was meditating. And in my meditation, I was being shown a jar. Then all of a sudden, a lightning bug. We call them lightning bugs in the South. They may be known as fireflies in other spaces, but y'all know the bugs that light up. And I remember as a child, I went to reflecting and reminiscing back to childhood when, as children, most of us who have been children and know these bugs that I'm talking about that light up around, we see them a certain time of year and they light up. It was reminding me of when we used to catch the bug and place them in the jar. So I was, in my mind's eye, I was questioning myself on what's the metaphor behind it? What's the meaning behind the metaphor that I'm being shown? And the conclusion is the jar representing our bodies, and the firefly, the lightning bug, represented the star seed or the spark of light within us. The lid represented this world that we came to experience ourselves in. The lid, if the lid is placed on something, that means whatever is inside is contained, is sealed. So I was looking at our present physical experience on this plane that we call Earth, in comparison and correspondence to what I was being shown about the jar and the bug. And we are the bugs in the jar, you know, trying to figure out how to light, trying to figure out how to connect with the own reflection of our light. And once we do that, the jar can no longer hold us. So I went to comparing that to this ascension shift that we're presently in, this age of information that we're presently in of course with the age of Aquarius. And I give honor, I want to acknowledge the ancestors for all the work they left behind, all the breadcrumbs they left behind, for those of us who would run into it and tap into it and spark the minds of the rest. And it's been a whole process throughout human history. So I can never give one race or civilization more accolades than another. You know, it took all of us to make this mess that we in. It's gonna take all of us to get out of it. Many hands lighten the load. The pandemic ain't over. As many people that are doing good through these present times, through this present recession, because we is in a recession. There's people doing bad. There's many people who have plenty of food to eat. There's just as more people that starve. There's just as many people who don't have to worry about financial or monetary concerns. there's just as many people that do. Why am I pointing this out? Because in the last 3 years, I want to put a cap on 3 years, just prior to COVID, but more so I want to focus on what I witnessed occur to us as humanity during COVID. Regardless of the powers, regardless of the plots and plans of the powers that be behind all of this, I watched us as human beings become so desensitized, so lack of feeling, I watched us build up into a space of so much desensitization and lack of feelings, lack of love, love of self, love for others, so forth and so on. That really, really made me question some things. Just to say, we live in a world full of chaos, man. As much as order is present, there's chaos present, and that's the balance. That's the balance, and knowing that that's the balance doesn't make it any easier. We still have to be here. We still have to find balance, and knowing what the balance is. We still have to find harmony, and knowing what the balance is. We still have to find integration, and knowing what these powers that be are, what they consist of. How are we affected by it? How do we affect others by it? How do we build it up in us? How do we recognize it in us? How do we tap into it? So forth and so on. It's a lot of us asking a lot of questions, and outside of YouTube and people that we don't know, a lot of us don't have people that we can directly go to and ask those questions. And if we do, we may not know how to ask those questions, or we may not have the bridge may not still be there for us to ask those questions. This is a time of reconciliation. This is a time of forgiveness. Remember that forgiveness is only for you. People don't even have to know that you forgave them, But instead of carrying the energy of the offense, it's better to release it and let it go. That's what forgiveness is. I'm just trying to breathe through some things. It's so much been on my mind. I just want to remind us of a few things as I go through it. Protect your peace by any means possible. Hurt people. And healthy people are helpful people. I would like to see that come into more fruition, so the hurt people can stop hurting people. If more healthy people become helpful people, then we'll see less hurt people hurting people. Mental health is a big concern because we going through it. And even if you ain't going through it, we going through it. But mental health is a great concern because, as I just said, man, people really going through it out here, man. As easy as life can be for some, it's just as hard for others. I don't want us to be so I would wish to see us not become so desensitized that we no longer care for what's going on outside our household, man. And even beyond the pandemic, man, we as human beings, we don't experience so much just going through life, just acquiring the lessons, just learning the lessons, just learning about ourselves as we learn through our interactions with others. We don't been through a lot. I want to give us a round of applause because it don't stop. We still got work to do. I want to remind us that change don't occur by being what we always were. Our words create worlds. Our words are worlds. All you gotta do is put an L in the word and it becomes worlds. So our words create worlds. And our worlds do become our reality to some extent or another. and at some moment or another. So we need to be mindful of what we say, we need to be mindful of how we feel, and we need to be mindful of our behavior. Our words are worlds, and no matter how much external things have the potential to fool us, life is an inside job. Feeling good is an inside job. Happiness is an inside job. Just like pain, sadness, anger, and all those things. Accommodate what you want to see coming to fruition in your life. Water what you want to see coming to fruition in your life. We each got to deal with our own shit and not put it on somebody else's plate. Balance will be the requirement over everything. What that means is, over everything. Balance will be the requirement in our financial world. Balance will be the requirement in our emotional world. Balance will be the requirement in our mental world. Balance will be the requirement in our spiritual world. Balance will be the requirement in our physical world. Balance will be the requirement over everything. Don't be watching whatever we observe, whatever we imagine. Don't be watching and still can't see. Whatever we hear, external or internal, whatever appears as audible, don't be hearing and still can't hear. Don't be listening and still can't hear. Put your work in, because that's the only work that you can put in. And if you put in the work, always know that there's always more work to do. We gotta be our own alchemists. Through our own transmutations, we will see our transformation. Inner change will create outer change. But we each have to do our own work. And if we're doing our own work, we can help others who are doing the same work that we're doing. We all have to be our own alchemists. And in being our own alchemists, we're going to have to learn how to do our own alchemy. We're going to learn how to face the things that we know need to be faced. We're going to need to address them. We're going to need to confront them. And we're going to need to put them in their place. Self-love, self-worth, promote self-healing. Self-love and self-worth promotes self-healing. And we all can use some healing. As I said earlier, protect yourself, protect your peace. By all means, we're in a time of high energy projections. Everybody is not able to feel good. So usually, as we know the term, if we're familiar with the term, misery loves company. And for those of us who are not in misery, we need to know that it's all around us. You know, it's all around us. Everybody's smiling, really not smiling. And everybody with a straight face really ain't wearing a straight face. We're gonna have to know how to feel our way through. And gnosis knows. So when gnosis is knowing, meaning when we're gonna have to listen to our intuition, because when our intuition is telling us things, it ain't no need for guessing. It's heavy energy projection going on in the astral realms. You know, people casting all type of things of lower frequencies on higher frequency people. Stay protected. The more clearer we are in our mind, in our emotions, and in our feelings, the less cloudy it is. And know how to read what it is that we're feeling. But it's busy in the spiritual realms, in the astral realms, in the realms of light, as well as in the realms of darkness, because they go together. They're really not separated. We go through problems because we haven't learned how to integrate it and balance it out. So that has a lot to do with why I haven't been on the scene. I've been going through my own initiations, you know, being strengthened, you know, going through the grounding to be strengthened, coming to more light, coming to more awareness, coming to more balance and integration, and how to maneuver and master these energies that moving through us. Things blowing up and backfire. Do good, and good will find its way to you. As within, so without. As above, so below. Stillness and abundance, love and light, health and wholeness. Feel good for no reason at all. I love y'all, family. Thank you for rocking with me. It's been a pleasure. Salute to God.